The following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Police believe homicide in South Park was well planned. Investigators believe that the attack on two men who were shot while in the car park of South Park Mall in San Fernando on Thursday was a well-planned crime. Malik Straker, also known as M1 and Molly, 31, of Wallerfield Arima, and Joel Chambers, 29, of Morvant, had no way of escaping when assailants opened fire on a silver 80 wagon in which they were seated around noon. While police are still trying to determine a motive, police said Straker, who was a gang member, had pending court matters for several serious crimes and had information that could have assisted them in solving at least 4 homicides. Initial reports stated that around midday, the men were seated in the front seats of the wagon when a Volkswagen Jetta pulled up. No eyewitnesses have come forward. Police believe occupants with high-powered weapons came out and opened fire on the vehicle, riddling it with bullets. Amateur footage circulating on social media shows people peeping through the holes in the windows before the police arrived and trying to figure out how many bodies were inside the wagon. Several other vehicles were in the car park, but there were no reports of damage to the other vehicles or injury to anyone else. A man who was parked about 2 cars away told reporters he had left his car about 10 minutes before the incident. He said he had gotten to the mall around 11:45 a.m. and went to the gym. He said they heard the loud explosions in the gym, but they did not think there were gunshots. We heard it in the gym, but we did not know it was bullets. Most of us thought it was just a tire that had burst until I was next to the mirror and I saw a guy running along the side of South Park screaming, "Bullets, bullets," he said. Grateful he had left his car before the shooting took place, he said, "I was surprised because it's not like in the night or it's not around people. Is in South Park around so much people. And apparently no one saw it, but that's just so hard to believe because it is a pretty densely populated area. People working in the stores, people going to the gym, in and out, always hustling, walking all around the place. It's more of a shock than anything that people so brazen." Police believe that Straker had vital information about last year's homicide of Kareem Walters, also known as Pinto Boss and Crime Boss of Pinto Road in Arima, Gabriel Mitchell, 25, of Pinto Road, Kelvin Gordon, 40, of Arima, and Marcus Papa Thomas of Valencia. Police report that Straker also had pending matters at the Arima and Sangre Grande Magistrates Court for kidnapping for ransom, false imprisonment, attempted homicide, possession of ammunition and firearm, robbery with aggravation, malicious wounding, and common assault. Chambers, however, was charged in 2018 for malicious damage, marijuana trafficking, dangerous driving, driving without a driver's permit, and without a certificate of insurance. Meanwhile, Greater San Fernando Area Chamber of Commerce President Kiran Singh has expressed concern over the brazen homicides. He said the business community was certainly alarmed to hear of this recent shooting where 2 male individuals were erased in broad daylight in the South Park car park. Of course, it doesn't augur well in the confidence of the business community with customers shopping and so on. We know the TTPS continues to do an extremely good job with restricting serious crimes and petty crimes in the Southwestern District and the Southern Division. Noting that from initial reports, the homicides appeared to be a hit, he said, "We wish for these criminal elements to continue to stay where they are from and not to filter down to the districts of the southern region." Also expressing concern, San Fernando Mayor Junia Regrello said the safety of citizens, children, and families in a shopping area must be priority. As the mayor, While I do not have the solution to this problem, I will do my best to ensure safety and security for our citizens. I am going to ask that the owners of the shopping malls, including C3, Gulf City Mall, and South Park Mall, meet with us, the TTPS, and municipal officers next week to prevent another occurrence of incidents such as these. We must tell the criminals, do not use San Fernando as a meeting point. Do not use San Fernando for crimes. When we look at those two men who were erased today, they are not from San Fernando. Obviously, it was an arrangement for them to meet in a popular spot for this act to be carried out, he added. While the police has been working assiduously to combat crime, the mayor said he intends to also discuss with Acting Commissioner of Police MacDonald Jacob further crime prevention methods in the inner and outer city. Meanwhile, investigators have sought out CCTV footage to aid in their investigations. Officers of the Homicide Bureau of Investigations Region 3 are investigating. Two men walk free after 15 years on remand. After spending almost 15 years on remand and facing 2 trials, 2 friends from Point Fortin have been freed of the homicide of a fellow resident in 2007. Delivering verdicts at the end of their virtual judge-alone trial yesterday, High Court Judge Gail Gonzales found Dirk Bruno and Sheldon Henry of New Village, Point Fortin not guilty of the homicide of Rashid Goodridge. According to the evidence presented in the case, on May 22, 2007, Goodridge, 21, and his 23-year-old friend Gabriel Charles were standing near a bamboo patch at La Fortin Road in Point Fortin when they were allegedly approached by 2 men who wanted to purchase marijuana. After Goodridge left the location and returned with the marijuana, the 2 men drew guns and shot him and Charles several times. Goodridge, a student of the Several Life Center in La Romaine, died on the scene, while Charles, who was shot in his head, survived. After being discharged from hospital, Charles identified Bruno and Henry as their attackers. Charles of Warden Street, Point Fortin, initially moved to Port of Spain, but returned to the community in July 2008 to testify in the duo's preliminary inquiry. On July 28, 2008, Charles was sitting under a tree near his home when he and his friend Rodney Persad were approached by an assailant who shot them several times. Charles died and Persad, who was shot in his back, survived. Charles' witness statement given to the police was used as evidence in the inquiry and at the duo's eventual trials. In April 2015, the duo was freed as High Court Judge Hayden St. Clair-Douglas upheld a no-case submission at the end of their first trial. Justice Hayden St. Clair-Douglas ruled that he came to the inescapable conclusion that Charles' identification evidence was poor. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, successfully appealed the decision, and the Court of Appeal ordered a retrial. In her ruling in the case, Justice Gonzales also stated that she did not believe Charles's version of the events. Bruno and Henry were represented by Larry Williams, Marissa Bubb, Peter Carter, and Purusha Lord. 18-year-old Christopher Singh of Samaria Trace, West Charleville, was last seen at 5 p.m. on January 24th. He was reported missing to the Chaguanas police station on January 26th. Christopher is of East Indian descent, medium built, 5 feet 10 inches tall with a brown complexion. He was last seen wearing a pair of black pants and a black jersey. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Christopher Singh is asked to contact the Chaguanas police station at 665-5271 or call 800-TIPS 999 555-911 or share the information via the TTPS app.